Hello everyone, this is Colin on the ASCA League channel, and here we are for the Copperhead Amateur Series for the second to last race of the first season of the Copperhead Amateur Series as we roll in here to Memphis. We got a 28 car field here ready to go at this mile track. As we see on your point standings, Garrett Sonor currently leads them in. He's in the best spot going to Dover. However, this race, there's a lot that can change and a lot of things that can go on today that can affect your points position later in the season. Coming in this race, about 6 drivers had a legitimate chance of winning the championship. However, they have to put themselves in a good spot to make that happen. Here are the starting lineup for today. Logan Sanders and Garrett Sonor on the front row, and Jack Porkins and Davey Johnson make up row 2. Your front 3 of the points are starting 1, 2, 3. In row 3 has August Eberhard 4th in points and Carson Bowers. Row 4, Nia Deverett and Chloe Baker, 2 points battlers. Nia at the tail end of the drivers who still have a shot at winning the championship. Row 5, Moretta Zrischel and Conrad Cooper, both chasers. Ineligible for the chase though. Row 6, Zach Rain and Julio Cease, your first non-chaser. Row 7, Dan Klenick and Cody Smart, your only part-time winner this season. Row 8, Megan Johnson in the Avalon Motorsport Chevrolet and Castle Radcliffe to her outside. Row 9, Patrick Curtis the German and Ada Milliken looking to make a full-time run next season in the Copperhead Amateur Series. Row 10, Alan Eberhard, the impressive rookie, and Mackenzie Rustin. Row 11, Jake Rogers making another start for Liquid Racing, and Max Stein in the 25. Row 12, Andrei Popov and Brian Thompson, 2 chasers that would have hoped for a better year. Row 13, John Arndt making his first start in a while, and Nick Vec heads to his outside. And row 14, Jake Baskinger, your furthest starter back, chaser, and Eric Monaco. As the cars come to the flag, green flag is in the air. Here we are racing at Memphis. And an impressive start by the 3-time winner, Logan Sanders, trying to hold his nose out in front, but Jack Porkins is already all over the back of him. Porkins is currently 3rd in points. He's going to need to pass both his teammate Garrett Sonor and the person in front of him, Logan Sanders, if he wants to win this championship. Behind him, August Eberhard will need to pass all 3 of them if he wants to go to the championship, 22 points back off the lead. You see Garrett Sonor in the back of the frame. He started on the outside of the pole, however, he is starting to slip back. The Culver's Dodge starting to slip back. He's already outside the top 5. Now in practice, the outside line, we actually saw a few cars get loose. One car actually got up into the wall. That was Andrei Popov. Did not go to a backup car, was able to fix it. But definitely at the outside is not the place you want to be here at Memphis. It's definitely you want to hug the white line on the inside of the track and try to get as much speed as you can. August Eberhard, though, is one of the drivers that isn't necessarily close to the top, but isn't necessarily too far off. August, your Daytona winner, is looking to try to get a good race here today so he can get as many points on Sonor as possible so he can have a shot going into Dover. That's what this race is really for. You can't win the championship here, but you can certainly lose it. And if August Eberhard can put him in a good spot to get into the chase and into a good spot for the championship at Dover, he may have a shot to take it home and beat the 3 drivers ahead of him in points right now. Still, we should look at the drivers not racing for the championship. Here's Jake Rogers, a good story to see him make the race, as well as the other few cars such as John Arndt in the back that also made their first start. You see 21 car Patrick Curtis, Rickwood Racing, actually had a good qualifying effort this week at the track. Curtis, one of the lowest chasers on the grid. However, he has started to come alive, arguably, in the past few races, and he's shown a little bit of speed, gaining a little points, not as much as some of your chasers such as Garrett Sonor, who has just jumped through the points. But definitely he has been showing some strength through the year, past couple of races, and definitely looking to get better. One team, though, that can arguably say that they have had one of the most successful years in both part-time and full-time racing is Smart Motorsports. As we see Cody Smart here running. Oh, we have a caution on the track and a big accident on the back of multiple cars involved. Nick Vec, one of your chasers, out of a chance to win the championship at the moment, but this will seal the nail. Ada Milliken also involved. I believe that was Eric Monaco in the black number 17 that was on the inside. And a big accident down the back, a couple of really hard hits. We're going to take a look And looks like Nick is going to get really tight coming off the corner, and nowhere for the 17 car to go. Just clobbers the front end of the 33 car. And that's Nick Vecchez's season summed up there. It's just not been a pretty season for Nick. As you see, riding on board Eric Monaco. Recently, they've not been able to bring his car home in one piece, and today is not going to be an exception. Monaco, though, just glad to see him making some more races, as he's been arguably one of the best qualifiers in the part-time group. As we see pit stops coming down pit road, August was able to pass Jack Porkins right before the caution flew. However, he's going to lose it on pit stops as he falls behind Porkins with a slower stop. Green flag, though, will fly for Logan Sanders, who has led every lap of the day so far in the Centric Parts Toyota. Logan Sanders has honestly been one of the stout drivers of the season. He's just been super consistent all year, and he has always been fighting for top 10s week in and week out. He's obviously a 3-time winner and definitely has shown his strength. Recently, not too much, out maybe top 10, but not a top 5 kind of driver, and it's kind of pushed him back. He's 8 off Sid Noor right now, but I think that Logan Sanders is probably the one to look out for at Dover, because I think that track kind of suits Sid Noor and Sanders, I mean. But don't look now. Here comes Jack Porkins, and Jack would like to say something about that. He actually raced in the Pennzoil Pro Series at Dover, and he led a ton of laps as a rookie there in the Pennzoil Pro Series, which is not an easy feat. So I think all eyes should also be on Porkins. It'll definitely be an interesting chase battle going into the final race at Dover. But as we see, the 14 car has also found his way up, and he's trying to get by the 83. But look at Porkins. He's actually pulling a gap over the 83 now. The HBO Dodge, sponsored by Game of Thrones, is now moving his way out in front as we are coming up to halfway. I also see Megan Johnson, the 7, moving into the picture. But what about our points leader, outside pole sitter? He has fallen deep into the field, and you see he is still stuck on the outside. He has not had the best car today, and it's definitely showing on the track. He is about midfield at this point, and this is not what he wanted to see. Oh, and we have a car slow on the inside. Dan Klenick, he's going to bring his car off the track. Something mechanical under the hood of that car. And not what he wanted to see, as we're going to get our mid-race report on the screen right now. Up on the right side, you can see where your driver is at the moment. How far back they are from the leader, Jack Porkins, who is leading the group around. Logan Sanders led most of the first part of the race. However, Porkins is just setting sail in the field in truly a fashion that he can be identified as, because Porkins has been known to just put on the pressure for the rest of the field to try to catch him, which in many cases has happened, because he has been caught and passed many times in the past few races. You see also looking back here in the field, you see the 02 car of Alan Eberhard expected to take over for his brother August when he moves to the Pennzoil Pro Series. But also John Arndt, we mentioned him earlier in the race, had not made a start since Daytona Race 1. It's taken him 14 races, but he's finally back in a race in the 03 Toyota for Double T Motorsports. One of his teammates, Max Stein, who's had a much better season than him, is right in front of him. We also have some cars who have been making their way through the field. Davey Johnson, I think he started 5th or 6th, somewhere high, but he fell back early on. However, he's been making his way back through the field in that customing Toyota, just outside the point where he can be battling for the championship, but still wants to get as many good runs as he can to show that, to at least end off the season strong. Just because you're out of a chance of winning the championship doesn't mean you can't have a good run. Same thing with Megan Johnson here. Johnson 11th in points. Has not been a pretty season for her. Just looking to try to get the best finish he can. And we got a car smoking on the back. That is Cody Smart in the Target Ford. And that's a shame, because Cody was having almost a top 10 run, just inside the top 15. That's a tough break for the 88, because he had given up his spot at Dover to Robert Harrison, who's expected to take over a second full-time car, along with Alan Eberhard for Smart Motorsports next season. Let's not talk about Smart Motorsports though, because Logan Sanders is getting passed by one. Here goes August as he's going to make his way by the 83 car, and it looks like they did not really get the adjustment down on that 83, because he has not had the fast car he had at the beginning of the run. However, although Jack Porkins wasn't letting him get away in the early laps, it may be that he was just able to block Porkins really well. And certainly that looks like it was the case, or else they made a huge adjustment on the 99 car, because he is flying like he's in another zip code, as he has just got checked out so far from everyone else, over 5 seconds. As you look back as the race closes, a few chasers that have not had a desirable season so far, Castle Radcliffe, Bryant Thompson, Jake Baskinger especially, a lot more expected out of him. Don't know where many of these drivers are going next season. But in the silly season, everything's kind of switching up, and we're going to see where everyone falls. Jake Baskinger, though, was a very big surprise not to see do well. Andrei Popov had some potential earlier in the year, however, kind of all faded away after the first few races and really has not had one of the best seasons, as he is 13th on the grid. The final lap is in the air as Jack Porkins. I was holding off from saying that bad luck could strike him, just in case of announcer karma, but it looks like it will not happen today, because Porkins is going to round the corners with a huge lead and a huge display of dominance going into the final 2 races. As you see, he finished second at Bristol. He finished second last week at the road course. He's finally going to get the win, and 3 top 2 finishes in a row. Jack Porkins will finally win, and he'll get it here at Memphis. And what a strong display of strength going into Dover, because look at the lead he picked up. And Megan Johnson was actually able to get around Logan Sanders in the final corner, knocking another point off of Sanders that he would have gotten. And Porkins is going to celebrate once again this year with victory burnouts, his 3rd win of the year, tying Logan Sanders for the most. And the HBO Dodge will celebrate in victory lane. Eberhard, though, that will put him in a spot where he can battle for the points for the championship. So I believe we may see a 4-car battle. You see Senor all the way down in 11th, not where he wanted to be, because now it's going to make his life a lot harder going into Dover, because he may have to actually gain points in order to win. We're going to check that out really soon. You see a couple cars out of the race. Cody Smart with an engine problem under his hood. See, Logan Sanders has actually taken over the points lead despite him not finishing inside the top 3. Sidnor will be 2 points back, and Jack Porkins only 4. August Eberhard, though, like we said, 15 points back. That's set. He gained 7 on the leader. So definitely we're going to see a 4-car battle going into Dover. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited to see how it's all going to play out. A super tight battle at the front of the field going into the final race. And like we've said many times before, that final race will be at Dover. The Copperhead Amateur Series will conclude next week. We'll see you all then.